Joe Biden has long been known as the moderate out of the Democrat presidential candidates. And he's trying to change that. He's trying to appeal to all those young socialists and communists that now make up the Democrat Party. And so, to try and do this, he went to an LGBT forum or event. Really, that's what his millennial advisors told him to do. And so whilst he was there, he said that male convicts, inmates, should be housed with female ones. Take a look.
So, yes, and by the way, in prison, the determination should be that your sexual identity is defined by what you say it is, not what, in fact, the prison says it is. And in that case, you should be entitled also to OGBYN. Anyway, you didn't ask that question, but you're not likely to either, I guess.
So a man, if he says that he's a woman, should be housed with women. That's his argument? I mean, it doesn't actually make any sense. It's like, why don't we just have completely mixed prisons? Everybody knows why. Everybody knows why we don't, for example, house sexual predators with their most likely victims, women, or lock them all in cages together. This doesn't take a genius to figure out. I mean, let's just be blunt here. If you're a rapist, arriving in a women's prison would be more like a reward than a punishment, an area with unlimited victims who are all around you. That's all we're talking about. It's amazing that we've gotten to this point. And the truth is, we have enough problems with female guards in male prisons and male guards in female prisons, for that matter. And yet, these people are talking about just mixing male and female inmates together and expecting nothing to happen? Or just having complete reckless disregard for the fact that women will be raped and otherwise assaulted in the situation. There's no question about it, it's obvious. England, always the first country to go woke, has actually done this. They've put transgender men, so real men, in prison with women because they say that they're women. And they've even done it with rapists. You wouldn't believe what happened. Yeah, those men went on to rape the women who were around them in their cages. That's what happened. What anyone with any brain would expect to happen. Again, this isn't even complicated in the least. We don't know how many times it's happened in England because they don't keep good records on this sort of thing. That would be insensitive and politically incorrect, to separate men from women in statistics, if those men say that they're actually women. Yeah. The Obama administration, which was also the Biden administration, remember he was vice president inside that, started to implement this policy that would allow men who claim that they're women inside of women's prisons. The Trump administration rolled that back to, a case of sanity. And it was actually rolled back in part because some female inmates in Texas sued the government and said that housing them with men was actually illegal. It was a violation of the Constitution. It was cruel and unusual punishment. And they were right. It is cruel and unusual to lock them up with sexual predators. I mean, our inmates do deserve some protections. And this would violate all of that. They'd actually be so much more vulnerable in that situation than they would be on the outside, if you like. But in these situations, what I'm trying to get at is this guy wouldn't even have to tie the woman up. He wouldn't have to really do much. She's already in a cage around him, vulnerable to him. I mean, these women might as well just be delivered to the guy like a present with a bow on top. It's that extreme. You'll have people committing crimes with the sole intent of going to female prisons. Because they'll be there with all of the victims. Why not? That's the sort of situation that you'll create. And this was Biden. This is what you'll get if you elect him to be president. And, he did all this in large part to be seen as progressive, which we all know actually means regressive, and most communistic. But did he succeed at proving just how woke he really is? No, of course not. Of course not. In fact, there's no appeasing these people, and he doesn't get that yet. Apparently, while on stage, he called the female moderator of the event a lovely person. A lovely person. How dare he? Yes, it was apparently very condescending and insulting. Backstage, he even called her a real sweetheart. Yes, how dare he? Vox has written about this story, if you can call this a story, the fact that he called someone a sweetheart and tried to compliment her. She was very uncomfortable because in 2019, in current year, you shouldn't be calling women sweethearts. This is like the evils of feminism. You can't even compliment a woman without her, trying to destroy you and criticizing you publicly. But he doesn't get it. He still thinks that we're like back in time when things were far more reasonable than they are now. There is no limit to how woke and stupid these people really are. We don't know whether he caressed and sniffed at her in the way that he is known for. We haven't actually heard about that. Remember, he is actually called Creepy Joe. He got that moniker because he loves to do that a little too much. Those shoulder rubs. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Alright, but he hasn't gotten it yet. You can't appease the far left. There is no appeasing them. Stop. Don't leave yet. Since you made it to the end, you probably enjoyed that video. In that case, here are some other videos that you might enjoy. The updates link at the top will provide you with better ways to be more reliably notified of new videos, and it also has social media information, that kind of thing. That's because you know how this site is. Well, the link at the bottom, the store link, that's in case you're looking for merchandise or our healthier products. Thanks.